So the next song was, you were a thought in God's mind, and now you're here standing there, breathing his very breath of life in you. What a beautiful and wonderful thought you are. And now you're standing there with his breath inside of you. Know your place, see your dreams, feel the promises that you know is there. You're a wonderful and a beautiful thought you are, and now you're standing there alive again. So today I'm unpacking my blog, my blog that I wrote on July 20th, and it's Finding My Sound. So yes, so for the last, I think it was nearly going on to 3 months, I started to have trouble with my ears. So as you know, those who know, I'm in the worship ministry, and I sing. I was going to say, I sing occasionally. I'm like, liar, you sing every day. So in my time with the Lord, I sing. I have my time of worship with God when I do my morning routines with Jeremy. And we sing, and we look with our eyes of our heart, and we just, thank God and do all that. But so it's July the 20th, so it's been happening since probably May. So around about May, June, July, I've started to have hearing problems. So what would happen when I would sing, my ears will block up. So that's where it started, and everything in my head became muffled. And I thought, oh, what's that? And I thought it would go away, because, and I thought, oh, maybe I've got a lot of wax in there and I need to go to the doctors and get it flushed out. However, when I got there, my doctor checked my ears and said that there was no wax in there. And I go, okay. So went back, and when I would serve at my church, in my local church, it would start again, and like I couldn't hear anything, like people would be talking to me, but it was quite muffled. It got to a stage that it got really painful. And so when I put that, so we use in-ears as our monitors, we don't have the floor fold backs on the floor, it's all in our ears. And I remember the last time before, at the beginning of May, last time I was on stage and we were worshiping, I was in so much pain so my process when I see in the spirit, and I go, and because I prep, my past episodes that we've done Joy Life, and I've talked about, my process of worship. And so I remember that day so clear as I'm singing. It was so painful because it was just ringing so painful in my ear that I couldn't even, my mind or my eyes couldn't even go into the spirit. I was just like, it was so just stuck there, and my sinuses started to get really when you get a flu or a blocked nose, and it started to do that, and everything inside my head hurt. And I remember coming off, and I just felt the Lord said, you might, just rest, like stop singing because I'm not sure if it was the Lord or it was me, but I felt like wisdom fell and said, stop and check that out. And so people will pray for me, and they when they prayed for me, they said that they could hear popping. Right? And my faith with prayer, I'm like, I'm there. Like, I know what my God can do. And so, I believe in, and the only time that it would do it mostly was when I would sing. So I would wake up in the morning, sing, and then it would and it would freak me out. Like, what is that? And go to the doctors again. And he was like, there's nothing wrong. I don't know if your ears, but he could see, and I was like, he doesn't know what was, it did baffle him a bit. But he would give me medication and goes, but he could see it was red or something. Yeah, that's it. So he would give me some antibiotics, and then I'd do the treatment for it, and then go back, and still nothing changed. It would actually go worse. Funny, another person in my workplace is having the same issue. So because I work, and I work with incoming calls coming in, and we do outgoing calls as well. It was hard to do my job. And I remember when the phone would ring, I would yank my headset off because it was so painful. And so, yeah, I had to go through, stuff at work to help and be on light duties. So all this is happening now, May, June, now in June. So even loud music would just irritate. So of course we took the time off because I couldn't even be around loud music in that time. Like it was like, yeah, I just couldn't do it. And but I think in that time, I think I started to become afraid, and what the lies that Okay, and it was funny when people would pray for me like, "This is an attack on your worship and on your sound." And when your doctor actually can't even see what's going on, and antibiotics that works for ears don't work, you wonder. but but I was like, okay. So when I did become afraid, I did come up. I did. I was like, "Oh, you're never gonna sing again," and I would hear that voice on the outside, right? And I said, "Lord, I'm afraid that I'm going to become deaf. Like, is what do we do?" And then it's kind of, and I love singing to you. That's our thing. Yeah, that's our thing. I love singing to you. And he goes, "Yeah, then find another way." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Find another way." And so yeah, so instead of singing to the Lord, me and Jeremy just got like full on and just reading our word, doing our morning routine, and talking about the word of God. And so yeah, and so I didn't sing for a good 2 months. No singing, no nothing. Couldn't really listen to music because it hurt too much. And I guess, yeah, and I missed it. I so missed it. I missed worship. I missed it all. And until this day, July 19th, I think. Or I wonder if I blogged before that, but it was the day after that I wrote about it. So it must have been July 19th. On the Saturday I woke up. Yeah, I woke up and I was like, "Oh, there it goes." Yeah, it was nothing. I could sing. And so can you imagine if when I can't hear anything and, going constantly to the doctors, trying to sort both ears out. Because once when this ear would go okay, then this ear will play up, and then and then that will stop, and then this ear will play up, and it was like, "Oh, there's leakage now." It was just really nuts. Yeah, but we were able to find other ways of really connecting with God, because as everyone know, I just don't compromise with that time with Him. Yeah, and when it happened, and on that day, it was so clear. It was just like the songs, the songs that would come out was crazy. I would walk into the toilet and songs were just dropping like, it was like, a dam just being released. Hey, just being released in all these prophetic songs. So in my blog, if you want to see the types of songs that I was hearing that day, it got even so crazy that I was watching a DVD. And when the credits came up, I could hear a prophetic song out of that. So it was just any music. It was just more so, because both ears, there was no muffledness. It was just clear. And yeah, so the first song I mentioned, so I'm talking about how my ears were blocked for 2 to 3 months. And then the first song I wrote that I heard prophetically was a question. It was a question, and the question was, "Will you go where freedom roams? Will you run too?" And because as I'm singing it, I'm running. I'm just running into Dad's embrace. And I was like, and I could see that as I was being embraced by God the Father, freedom was everywhere. I was totally surrounded in it. And that's the song I'm singing in the toilet. I was like, "Will you go where freedom roams? Will you run too? Will you go where freedom loves? Will you run too? I run to my Father's arm where freedom and love is. I run to my Father's embrace where freedom and grace lives. And yeah, and he was just showing me this beautiful picture, and also showing how many of us, you know, that are without freedom. And yeah, so it was like, yeah, that people, he goes, how many of us are without freedom, love, and grace? Too many to count. And yeah, and I write about how I know this place and how I long for this place. And I know that people are longing for it too, because I long for it constantly. Yeah, so it was like, so when I get a song like that, he shows it's like he shows me what's going on. And yeah, so it was, as I write, our personal world is screaming for freedom. You know what I'm talking about? Freedom financially. And I'm being a bit cheeky because I got everything. Everyone thinks this is the highest priority. Both Christians and the rest of the world laugh out loud. Yes, I just did that. Classified mankind into the world and Christians. But the thing is that, like, we want freedom from addictions, freedom from emotional issues, from physical issues, relational issues, poverty, freedom from everything that feels to us like bondage, freedom from ourselves, the doubts, the failure, all of it, you know. So yeah, and I talk about how the freedom that our body and our spirit and our soul desires actually lies in God. It's as simple as that. He is the freedom holder and the freedom giver and the freedom creator. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So yeah, and that's what I was talking about. So yeah, and then the next song, so it was like quick, like get the song, sing it out, sing it out. Why we're singing it, this is why, because it's like, how God is like, Lulu, Bubs, this world wants freedom. This world longs for me. It longs for me. Sing it out. Sing it out. Prophesy with me. Let's sing together. Let's sing, and let's sing that out, because I know that's what they want. Next song. Next song I could remember, because there was more than 3 songs, but this is the only songs I could remember, was Then It's Nighttime, I think, that I was singing at night. It was, I love this. This was so cool. It was so cool. So remember, I haven't been singing or hearing anything, right? Because my ears was the cause. And so this is 2 to 3 months I've rested this, and wrestled with it. So the next song was, you are a thought in God's mind, and now you're here standing there, breathing his very breath of life in you. What a beautiful and wonderful thought you are. And now you're standing there with his breath inside of you. Know your place, see your dreams, feel the promises that you know is there. You're a wonderful and a beautiful thought you are, and now you're standing there alive again. And when I asked him, like, whoa, what is that, God? And then he goes, so many, see how it, see, you see that? He goes, so many of us are not knowing why we are here or thinking about existence. So in that time, in July 20th, the Lord was saying, so many of us are without freedom. And then at night he goes, so many of us, like so many of you, just you're contemplating existence and existing. And so yeah, and then I just unpack how that actually I could hear in the world, like, how the word how creation groans. You could hear the groaning at that time was, why did you create me? Why did you do this? I'd never asked to be born, and that was I could hear those questions. I'm just living like, because I'm existing. That's just how it is. There's no God. That's it. I'm going to just run this life out and we'll be good because nothing comes after it, whatever you believe in about existence. And yeah, so that's what he was sharing about. You can read what was being dropped, but it was like God, I felt that Dad wanted our attention and wants your attention. And as I wrote, I go, you were first his thought, not your parents. You were God's thought first. And it was just so beautiful. He goes, I thought of them first. They were my beautiful thought. And when I think of something, Lulu, it's always beautiful and wonderful. And I'm like, yes, yes, it's true. Yeah, and I felt that right there when I was writing, I was also believing in faith. Lord God, whoever writes this, if they're battling with their existence, that, they can hear it first here. If no one's told you what you were born for and why you exist, is because God created you and that you were first his thought. And that's a big deal. It's such a big deal. Yeah, all three of them actually, all gathered together. It's like, yes, let's do this. Let's create them in our image. If you think about it, didn't we talk about that last week? That we're the only kind that is made in his image. Like everything else in heaven does not look like this. Oh well, those who have, are now there. So jelly. But I'm not really, because to be in a position to advance the kingdom on earth for God, to actually have a choice to do that, so worth it. Anyway, so yeah, so he was just know that you're not a mistake, know that you're not a problem, and you definitely ain't evolution. This isn't evolution, but God's actually revelation, which is you. It was it's his creation. And yeah, so that was the two songs that I felt. And yeah, he was just saying, oh, come here, Lulu. I actually think he shows me these things because the pursuit of valuing people, like I'm in Ephesians, I'm in Ephesians about God is love, and that God is love, and that, how can you love me that you have not seen and hate your brother that you do see? Hey? And so he's like, when you love me, you love them from that place. Perfect my love. It's perfected. So yeah, so again, he's bringing me to attention and praying in faith for these ones that are asking these questions about existence. And here I am, a voice, just one voice saying, no, you are a revelation of God. We are. Oh my gosh, yes we are. And to know that his breath is in you. Far out. Yeah, his breath is in you. And how beautiful he oh wow, far out. Okay, just read it. You can read it. I'm encouraging you that you are his revelation, that you exist. You weren't born to just live your life out and exist. You were born to live. The God breath that is in you is to live and be all that you are, that God promised you to be. But you won't know that until you meet your maker and hear his heart for you. But you can come to me too, because I'll hear on your behalf, and hopefully you'll get inspired and like, I want him too. And you shall have him, because he's just waiting for you. So yeah, and the last song again, I sang many songs that day, and the last songs was very serious. I think God is, he teaches us, and he says things that you think he wouldn't say, but he is a father, and a father likes to lead us in the right way, and sometimes it's gonna hurt a bit, but that's what discipline looks like, because he loves us. Okay, so this was the next song I sang. It's not about that. So here we go. Okay, now this was the most recent one tonight. So this is the third song that I heard this night. about finding my sound. Okay, now this was, okay, addressing the second section of mankind. LOL, Christians. It just, okay. Here was the song I sang. It's not about that, what's happening over there. It's not about this, what's happening here, over here. It's all about him. It's all about you. It's all about us learning this truth. It has to be Jesus. I was just singing that over and over again. And then it was, I actually sung this. I actually did. We are busy ants with conferences here and there with a price tag to host your presence. That's important. We are building glamorous buildings for your presence. Yet the glamorous buildings addressing my personal body. So as I'm singing this, I was going, yet this glamorous building addressing my personal body is slowly worsening. Have we missed it, Lord God? Have we missed it? And I sing it again. It's not about that. It's not about this. It's all about him. It's all about you. It's all about us learning this truth. It has to be Jesus. We are busy ants with conferences here and there with price tags to host your presence. That's important. We are building glamorous buildings for your presence. Yet this glamorous building is slowly worsening. Have we missed it, Lord God? Yeah, it was actually quite a soft melody. It wasn't hard, it wasn't angry. It was actually a soft melody. If I could recall, it was actually quite soft and sweet. And yeah, so I talk about how church can lose, could have a like a facelift. Let's call it that, a facelift. Things are, yeah, so a facelift. The thing that was, remember, if you really look at the flow of this blog, he always starts with so many of you, so many of you, so many of you need freedom, so many of you are actually looking for me, so many of you are asking the question of existence, you actually want me. And here he is addressing the body of Christ, yeah, so many of you need me in your life, that I'm actually building you, but but we can become busy ants building building something that house him, but not actually is him, like, if that makes sense. So it's the glamorous building. I think that's where he goes, so many of you are like, yeah, you guys are coming to church and doing all that, but inside you're dying and you're still searching for me. Yeah, so